Slow it, baby. Slow it, baby. Slow it, baby. And you are now rocking with them hip hop
It's
heads. Eat the poet, this blockchain's key component. That art chick be in my DM like I need a moment. I feel heroic, I'm goated, like should I show it? From all of this doubt came all of this clout when you keep moving forward. I street hop like that New York City beatbox. Flow come with options like clicking on them 3 dots. Cash rules everything around, never that. I'm moving hella stacks in and out my MetaMask. Like, oh, let me tell you what's true. Too many people doubt themselves, especially you. Embrace the bad. I met the devil, told him hello, had to shake his hand. Put the pedal to the metal, can't escape this man. Just the way she pants.
What up? We are back for episode 8 of Music Mondays. I am your host, Louis C. Rhymes, along with my fabulous co-hosts, Jared T, Natalie Crew. What up, my family? How was the week off without me?
Fuck off, Louis. Fuck right off. Just so everybody knows, Louis got a tan, I got COVID, and Natalie got a bum knee. So,
and about that bum knee, I better hear that you were out here doing fucking Mortal Kombat, fucking Raiden type shit. I don't know, Scorpio, shooting fucking motherfuckers with reptiles and shit. What game was it? Please tell me. You know what? I'd rather it would be that you were climbing up on stages and parcels or something in crypto voxels. Talk to me.
No. It's one of my favorite games on Oculus, The Thrill of the Fight. And
same game you play in real life. It's the same game.
Totally relate. And yeah, it was not cute. I play that game almost every day, and I was just a little too into it this time. And so basically you're boxing people in this game. I'm prepping for real life when I go to NFT conferences, and all the people that talk shit want to roll up on me, allegedly. And so I was in this game. I don't know what happened. I just got way too in it. I thought I was in real life and I was going hard, and all of a sudden, I don't know, I just fell down a cliff. And that was it. It was a done deal. My knee was twisted, and now I am in bed for the next few days with a brace on and eating ice cream, and my mom taking care of me. So can't complain on that tip.
Listen,
so,
it could be worse. It could be worse, right?
I could have actually broken my leg, which is completely possible in that game. So make sure you brace yourself.
Or you could have done it doing some shit at like Walmart, picking up groceries and tripping and falling. At least you got to do it in the metaverse, you know?
Which is probably sadder, like, let's be honest.
No, I think it's not. It shows the dedication. It shows the entrenched engagement that Natalie Crew is with Web3 in the metaverse.
I tell you one thing's for sure, though. She can turn on a Twitch live stream, and I will tune in now.
I wish I had it on video. Honestly, all I can do is laugh at myself because it was atrocious. And so
you got to get her one of those camera rigs that she could be watched from the outside of the Oculus, and then we'll see what's on the inside of the Oculus. Throw them together. It'll be a beautiful mix.
Yeah. I'll be a YouTube star in no time.
For sure. Well, all right. Well, happy to see you guys again. Outside of mine and Natalie's bad week, I know Louis had a great week, coming in with his tie-dye shirt on, feeling all good. All right, whatever, man. I see it.
I also just want to shout out that the crowd voted that Louis Nips did have, in fact, the best week of all of the choices. So I would like to read it.
Nice.
But straight into our TLDR section. This week, what we're going to talk about is so last week there was a drop on Sound XYZ. It was by Selection, and what Selection was it was a curated list of 33 songs that was released on Sound's normal format. Where they the difference was this time I think it was the most songs they'd ever done. It was 333 of them. They all cost a tenth of an ETH. It sold out pretty quickly. So we could talk about that, but what I actually think was really cool is I'm going to nerd out on it a little bit is the fact how they integrated the OX splits protocol into the platform. So everybody that contributed to it gets paid automatically through the splits in there. Now, I know, Louis, we're not that unfamiliar with splitters, but maybe talk about why this is a bigger deal as far as those platform collaborations are concerned.
So when you first told me about it, so you know me, I'm out here. This is the first week I actually had off, so I'm out at my job. So I have a different excuse to be lazy. I could say that I planned my vacation, but I see why it's big, right? I see why it's big because of the fact that now the platform doesn't have to provide the splitter, right? We have an external source that can. And I don't know the details of the OX splits protocol, but it can basically create the splits for us. I'll be real. I'll keep it 100. I didn't understand this drop really at all. I didn't know the musicians on it. I don't know who Selection is. I ain't going to front and act like I do. And when I first saw it, I was like, 3 ETH, 2 ETH, like compared to all the other drops, and I saw 33 ETH. And I was like, well, how the fuck did this happen? Like, what is this? And then I, at that point, was like, why is this special, right? So I thought, well, that's cool. Like, there's a big collection of artists. I don't know who any of the artists were, but I did skim through the music. It was pretty dope. Like, it was definitely, great music. And so shout out to all the musicians that put music in there. But I was kind of just like honestly, like, what's the big deal? Like, did somebody just sell an hour podcast for $100,000? Like, why is this special? And so, like, I think the biggest, most special part is the fact that we have a splitter that we can link to the platform. So when I go to sound and I do a drop with somebody else, I don't have to rely on them and their systems to make sure that I can cut my breakdown out. Besides that, this drop doesn't really mean much to me. Now, if there's a musician or if there's an organizer in this hour-long scenario that we have here that makes it special, I'm more interested to learn about that from obviously, people like Natalie and Black Dave and even you. I know I'm always the guy who doesn't know what's going on because I'm just doing a million fucking things, and that's my excuse to be lazy. But I'll stop there.
What you got, Natalie?
I don't have any like super hot takes on Selection, but they've been around for quite some time. They're a indie record label. They have like a dope radio show. They have it's just a bunch of a collective of folks. What I would say is that while I did enjoy them pushing out the idea that you can do more than just put a quote unquote song on the blockchain, because we've kind of, at least to some extent, aside from the Black Daves and Mons and like Latasha's, people are getting like siloed into thinking they can only do like X, Y, and Z. And I'm really looking at the Black Daves of the world to kind of push us forward and create new use cases. I know it's a lot of pressure. And there's other artists as well that are doing that. And I think in this particular drop, they were saying, hey, like you can also put up a podcast or a radio show, and that also be that's also a way to kind of support a vast range of musicians, in this case, a collective of folks. And what I did not like is that I see a lot of people like Selection and other folks coming in, same thing with NFT conferences, that don't have like Web3 musicians actually performing at them. What I would love to see is like more collaboration. If people are coming into space, collaborate with the folks that are already here so you can get more leverage in the community, so you can get more eyeballs, so you can get kind of your foot in the door. And so, but I understand like why they did what they did. However, I'd love to see kind of people pay respect and homage to the folks that have already been there. And not that my folks care, but just on GP, general principles. So
Natalie, it sounds like this was like their, like, and I'm asking, I really don't know. And I'm glad that you said they've been around. So like this was their, I guess, like, lunge into the Web3 space, like this was their first like initial thing.
Yeah, they started. So social, again, like Selection is like a collective of folks. They recently launched Selection Plus. I don't know if it's the plus has another type of way to say that. I'll say Selection Plus. And they basically created a new arm dedicated to like Web3 so that they can experiment and explore Web3 as a collective. And so this is kind of their, I guess, introduction into the space. I would urge people to kind of look up Joe K and the rest of the folks that are part of this collective. They've honestly done like a lot of incredible work. However, again, like I stick by what I say, collab with the people that have been here already. But they have been on the ground in terms of independent artists and the collective itself for quite a long time. So
can I ask Natalie or Jared, why? So yes, like you said it before, Natalie, like, yeah, we traditionally used to minting songs, right? And they showed that you can mint a collection of songs, which I dig. I definitely respect that. I see
basically an album, right?
Right. Basically an album. But so like, why Like, what do we like more about the fact that it's all in one audio file clip versus distributed via multiple 1155s or 721s? Like, I'm not saying I have a preference. I'm asking, like, I don't know. And I'm wondering if this is the kind of thing that we're going to continue to see. Like you said, like people testing the waters and creating new templates for it. So I do dig the stepping out of the box thing, but I was confused about why an hour-long NFT. Because, like, I'm a picky kind of guy. Like, if I'm going to spend 0.1 on an NFT or whatever it is, that's a couple $100. Like, I want to at least know the song or the person or whatever that I like is on it. Like, so it just seems like a little bit more of a challenge for the purchaser to be like, oh, I want this thing. Like, unless I know those people, maybe that's why. Like, I'm asking. We're spitballing here, fam, but I want to know your thoughts.
I think part of it has to do with, it was really kind of, and I think this is the reason why sound jumped on it, is it was the first of its kind. I don't have a better reason other than that. I mean, it was very good music. I enjoyed the music on it. I listened to the live thing. I actually picked it up too, but that's just because I'm a whore. I buy everything that's out there. But
because you're a music NFT whore.
Yeah, basically. I buy everything that's out there. So I liked it. And it was even more than, it was very much a radio show. And from what I understand is the radio show normally airs on Apple Music. So, you know, and I heard his whole story, and I apologize, I forget his name. What was his name, Natalie? The guy that runs the whole thing?
Joe K, I believe, yeah.
Joe K, yeah. And he gave his whole story, and like, it was a cool story, and he's been at it for a long time. He's done some good things, and obviously, like, this is just another way to help bring him on here. Now, I do agree with you, though, Natalie. Like, I would have liked to see somebody like a Connie Digital. Like, that would have been like a no-brainer for me. Like, throw him on here type of thing. And that's just one name, but like there's any number of people that we could have thrown on here and still had a very good mix that would have fit the vibe that they were looking for. But to answer your original question, Louis, I do think it was because it ended up being a first of its kind. That's why, and it was utilizing the splits, right? It was kind of showing like, hey, look what we can do type of thing. If you want to come out with an album, if you want to split it off and pay people without having to put any other work into it other than a protocol that already exists, you can do it this way.
Fair enough. Nat?
They also have like, and I'm gonna like dab the crotch for this. They also have like a huge like fan base, and not that always translates, but I think there are people in Web3 or crypto music, whatever people want to call it tomorrow, that do kind of follow Selection and are kind of fans or part of their quote unquote emerging community of people, and so people kind of respect the work that they have done, and I know that people just wanted to kind of jump on it. Sound XYZ itself has probably a larger fan base in Web3 than they do. However, I just wanted to point that out, that again, they've been around for a long ass time. I myself like love some of the stuff they put out, not all of it. Let's be honest, I grew up on Rakim and gangster rap, and so yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out. So
like, I know we go back to Natalie's Le Chat reference when we had John Waltz on here. We know Natalie.
Yeah, no, I appreciate takes on it. I think I think it's dope, the fact that they came into the community, they tried something new. This was their initial entrance. Like you said, Nat, like I think, conferring, and not even conferring, but just trying to engage the established artists and communities that's already been there, I think is important too. But yeah, no, shout out Selection for a successful drop. I have no issue, to beef with them. I as a musician, I'm trying to understand like because that's what it is, fam. We all out here just taking shit from each other's playbooks and put it in our own. So I'm looking at this and like, what 10-minute song am I going to come out with now? Like whatever, some shit like that. So that's how I think.
Let's get right into it now. As I'm sure everybody's seen, we got a special guest on for tonight. Like Dave, Lou, we got that song queued up.
Yes, we should have that song queued up. So this song is called Triple Beam. This is by Black Dave. This is one of his NFTs we're going to talk a little bit more about in detail in a second. But let me share my screen so that you're able to hear it. And we are going to get it popping right.
And this was actually his sound drop. So it kind of goes on theme here.
Yes. Oh, okay. So that makes perfect sense. So here you go. So let me make sure it's on mute. We should be able to hear it.
Eyes on a Gundam shall not live to tell about it.
Coming for the back of the neck. Yugi Yo, pulling out the dab. Young bull spiking off the set. And I'm in the box, turning up the jets. Speeding, damn, I'm feeling like a demon. See it, try to be it, feed it, dreaming. Date by yo, believe it, beaming, double beaming, triple beaming. I don't fuck with apes, all you niggas boring. I'm the king of the hill, bitch, I look like Gorin. Hopping in the heavy arms, only whipping foreign. I'm a titan, and you better bring the scout corin. And we warring, in the box soaring. Put the gun down, then I bring the beam sword in. If you wanna battle, then I'm ripping and I'm roaring. Black they be shooting, and black they be scoring. Coming for the back of the net.
Sorry, I get excited. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome our amazing Web3 music pioneer. Shout out Black Dave. Black Dave, thank you so much for being here. We're hyped to have you.
What's up, Dave?
What's up? How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing?
We're good, bro. We're good. What about you? How you feeling?
I am good. I'm like, this is the last thing I have to do today. And like, do you guys, I doubt it because look at Louis, but like, do you go through a day and then at the end of the day, you're like, fuck, I am out of social energy. Like I'm almost there. So you guys are getting like the last power through. So yeah. I'm good.
Which, by the way, that speaks to a lot of what you do, man. Like I know we all see out. I mean, Dave is crazy. I know Dave and Natalie run together. Y'all are on Extra Tank, Spaces, Clubhouse, Project this, Project that, Community this. Like y'all go crazy around here.
Yeah, well, like, so I pretty much, this is what I do, right? So like, why wouldn't I just, instead of spending 8 hours making somebody else's money, I spend 8 hours trying to figure out how to make mine. And I spend way more than 8 hours, but like, that's kind of the plan. Some days I don't, like some days I spend like half an hour, but some days I spend like 12 hours. So it's like, why not? Like I tell people, like, I try to explain to people sometimes, you know, like, Dave, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I sell music for crypto. And they're like, what? And I'm like, it's a lot more than that. But the short version is I sell music for crypto. And they're like, oh, that's cool. Like, is it going well? I'm like, yeah, I make a lot of crypto. And that's like kind of how it is.
I love the simplicity, but honesty behind that. That's exactly what you got to do, bro.
It's almost like you want to follow that up with like,
superpower.
How much time do you have? Like, I can explain it to you, but how much time do you have?
Everything I do is like, how easy can I make this hard thing appear? Like, so even like with NFTs, like when people are like, okay, what's the blockchain? I'm like, oh, it's like a big ass spreadsheet and it just says what everybody's doing. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much it. They're like, why do they use distributed ledger? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, a distributed ledger is a big ass spreadsheet that everybody can see.
Poor Vitalik Buterin right now is just sitting in some fucking studio livid. This motherfucker's calling his blockchain a fucking spreadsheet. But yo, that's a great way to put it. I never thought about it like that. Really honestly.
Big ass spreadsheet. What's a smart contract? Oh, it's like a vending machine. You put something in, you get something out. You didn't have to press the other buttons in between. Like, oh, that's all a smart contract is? I'm like, yeah, pretty much. It's code. Oh, that's it? I'm like, yeah, it's not that confusing, I promise. Just don't get hacked. That's the hard part, apparently. You buy a Bored Ape and you become an idiot. So,
dude,
that's actually part of the song.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for saying it in the song. Thank you for saying it on the interview. Because I have a line similar in one of my songs that's unreleased, but I teased it before. But I bet they would buy in if I owned an ape. Then they'd invite me to talk in their space, bragging about how their community's great when they profile picture is worth an estate, right? So it goes kind of along with what you were saying about these motherfuckers are boring. You want to talk about it?
You know, well,
Ooh,
first,
put him
like,
on.
Here's the thing, right? Like, I said this back at NFT NYC last year. Like, you found out that the ape owners who were owning the coolest NFT in the like marketplace were actually like lame dudes. You know, you were like, all of a sudden, you saw pictures of them. And you're like, wait. This is what you guys look like behind the PFP. Like, you're like the coolest fucking guy in the space. And you're like, oh, like I always make the joke that like, oh, Shiny looks like Seth Rogen. And I'm like, I mean, if you guys have seen him, right? Like, I love O'Shiny. I think he's an amazing dude, but does he not? You know, like, and so like you you like kind of you start to see the people behind the PFPs, and me being like a sneakerhead, me being a rapper, me being like a streetwear nerd. Like I'm like, oh, this isn't cool. Like you guys just own a thing that's worth a lot of money, and it has become cool because of that. And so like, you know, I'm just always trying to be like as cool as possible. Like I make comments about how I'm too cool for everything. Like I tell my girlfriend and everybody, like they're like, oh, you like holidays? I'm like, honestly, I'm too cool for holidays. Like I'm too cool for Halloween. I don't dress up. Like I tell people I'm not festive. Like, you know, I hate fun, like all of it. I'm just like, yeah, like I'm just like, can I not dress up and wear my coolest outfit for Halloween? Like, and compete with everyone. So yeah, that's it. Bored Apes.
Well, you said something there, man, and I want to get into it to talk about your history a little bit. You talked about being a sneakerhead and being in that culture, and I've heard you talk enough times that I know a little bit about where you come from. You said you played in bands over the years, and you made a lot of music. I actually found out something interesting about you, not to be too creepy. I was trying to get my Nardwuar on. Found out that for a year straight, you made a new beat a day for a year straight. So you was like on your like Beeple, like John Mann shit right there.
Yeah, so it was a beat every day. This was in 2020. It was a beat every day. So right before the pandemic, I said in 2020, and this is something that I do that you guys might not realize is, except this year, every year for the last few years, I've posted my New Year's resolutions publicly on Instagram. And so one of them was to make more music. As an artist, one of them was to sell more beats. And so in order to sell more beats, I needed to make more beats. So I made a beat every day. I'd make the cover for the beat. I would upload the beat to YouTube, upload the beat to my BeatStars page, and then like post it on Instagram. So I have an Instagram account called Black Dave Beats, and it's just full of beats. And they're all videos that I made like before I went to sleep every day. So people's rule is before midnight. My rule is before I go to sleep. And then also in 2020, I would write a 3-song EP every month. So I would produce, write, record, mix, master, the whole thing, a 3-song EP every month. So I did 366 beats and then 36 songs in 2020.
That's hefty. That's hefty,
bro. That's the move. That's the move. And I don't know why you did that, right? Like what you're obviously I know why, because you're an artist, you make music, it's fucking dope. But I similarly in the year 2019 did the same thing as you. I did a verse a week. I'm in a little bit of a different situation with my job, but like I said, if you want to do this rap shit, you got to be able to do one verse a week for 52 weeks. And then if you get through this year and you love doing this shit and this shit ain't, ruining your life and you enjoy this, then you could do it. And that's what I did. So it reminded me of what you just said.
I love it. You know what I used to tell people was, you got to turn your talent into a skill, right? Like, that's the real thing. And so I was making a beat every day so that my talent, which I still consider my production way more skill-based than talent-based, but like to turn my talent into a skill so that I could do it as a job, right? Like if you become a designer for a living, you can walk in and say, well, I'm not inspired today, but you can't walk in, say you're not inspired and then give nothing, like, so you have to like, you still have to do something. So there are a lot of beats. I recently sold a beat that I was like, oh, this beat isn't that great. I sent it to my girlfriend, actually. I played it for her. And I was like, this beat isn't that good, but somebody just bought it. And she was like, this isn't bad. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, and so like, that's kind of the thing that I think like, cause all those beats are still for sale. So like, you can like lease them for like $20. Like you can still do that. And so that's like kind of the thing. Like I literally sold 2 beats today from 2020. They might have been older than 2020. And so like, and it's from a person who doesn't know me from Web3. It's someone who like literally DM'd me and was like, hey, I saw anime type beat on YouTube. I found your Twitter and I wanted to buy them. And I was like, cool, like here's the links. And so that's what I used to do. So like if you type anime type beat in YouTube, every single beat I uploaded says anime type beat because I just wanted people to rap about anime on them. And I have a couple that people rapped about anime on, but for the most part, it's like regular songs. Like a lot of local kids would buy them. And then like, even with the music, I think it was like, for me, and I don't know how this was for you, Louis, but like, it was a discovery of how I wanted to sound. So like the difference from like my first month to like my fourth month to my eighth month to like the last month, you can really tell like my comfort with the sound. And so everything that I've been doing in Web3, I wrote during my time in Web3. So like a lot of artists are giving us old music, you know, and I haven't uploaded anything old into Web3. Like anything I made before I got here, no. Every beat, every guitar chord, every vocal, every line I've written, every like cover art I've done, it was only during my time in Web3. And so that's like, I think a fundamental difference in how like I've been moving is like I used the previous time to find my sound, found the sound, and now I'm like cultivating it and you know, building it up and stuff.
Yeah, that boot camp style training of doing it every day is exactly what it's like. That's what I felt like I helped find my sound after you do that, because you know that you want to sound a certain way, but you know that you don't sound that way until you sound that way. And when you do, you feel comfortable, you feel at home, you feel like it's yours, it's your own. So I definitely know that
Yes.
feeling. And to that point, Dave, too, like, you know, I'll be the first to own it. I think Royce, who's one of my favorite rappers, he has a line about ain't nothing whack ever came out my mouth. Like ain't nothing whack ever came out my mouth yet, right? And like a lot of rappers pride themselves on that. And I'll be the first to say a lot of whack shit came out of my mouth, right? A lot
So
of
much. Oh my God. I have a show coming up. So I have a show coming up. It's my first show as a rapper. And I'm like
Congrats, by the
listening
way.
to my music to try to figure out, thank you. I'm listening to my music, trying to figure out like what I'm gonna perform. Like obviously like I have a handful of Web3 songs, but like I'm like, okay, and I'm listening to my music. I'm like, oh, this isn't. Did I say? I said that, or like I'll listen and be like, oh, I said like the same line in like 6 songs, and I'm like, oh my God, like I need to like write more expansively. Like I really like was going back through my old music, like understanding that I was really like just training in that time period and not focusing on so much on writing great things, but focusing on just doing it, because like the exercise is more important than the outcome. And I think that was like my whole mission that whole year.
One of my favorite rappers, Marlon Craft, he has a bar and it goes something like this. He says, if you want them fire bars, it's them hours that you gotta log. And he rhymes a little bit better and makes it sound a little bit more nice when he puts it together. But the point is there, and it goes exactly to what you're saying.
No, and I saw the fire log reference too. So
there you go. So sorry, Jared T, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, just had a quick one for you. With your first show coming up, what I'm super curious about is, you know, what shows to you have been inspiration? Like what, you know, for me personally, like when I go to a show, it's the energy, really. Like we all know the songs and we can all sing along with the songs, but like it's the difference when you see it live with the people that like really, really make you a fan are the ones that just bring that different kind of energy. And it doesn't even have to be like crazy energy. It just has to be the right energy at that time. So who inspires you from a show that you know, you might want to match that kind of energy or be like?
I've been thinking about it a lot. I think like tying back to like playing in punk and hardcore bands, I think I want to approach my performances with the same energy of when I played in hardcore bands. I think I'm more interested in doing that than doing what rappers are doing. And I know that a lot of rappers are saying that they're rock stars and stuff like that, which is fine, great, like have fun. But like I really think I want to emulate that sort of energy of being the vocalist in a heavy band. I think that because especially like, and I know we didn't approach it in the intro song, but especially because I use heavy rock in my music, I think it makes sense to do that. The only thing I'm worried about is I haven't played in a hardcore band in like 6 years, and I'm not as fit as I used to be. And so that's going to be interesting to see like how that goes. Like, because one of the things, like I remember playing in bands and like the touring band would come like to our city and they would set up a weight bench outside and they would like lift weights. They would like have like a full ass workout. They're like ripped dudes, like, and
you can go the Natalie route and put on an Oculus.
I don't want Dave to get hurt.
Why you got to do my girl like that?
I might get hurt. I might get hurt doing it regularly. So
Low blow.
So
Max.
It's all good. We'll see how it goes. I think that's that's in my mind. We'll see what happens when the mic's in my hand. Like I feel like if you've ever performed anything or ever spoken or like been on a panel or whatever, you walk up and you're like, all right, I'm gonna hit it like this. And then you get there and you're like, oh, I can't hit that thing I thought I was gonna hit. And so like when I would play bass in bands, like I remember like just doing like tricks, like a thing you would do is like I played bass and you would like swing it and it would swing around and you would catch it and you would like keep playing. But you had to have like certain things, or like I was really big into like doing like spin kicks with my bass and like in my hand and stuff like that. And like sometimes totally cool, like you could do it. Other times you would feel it and you'd be like, oh no, I'm stopping. And like you would just play it because you know that it's not gonna go well. And so we'll see. We're just gonna, I mean, honestly, we're just gonna see. That's the whole story. I'll send you a video.
Are you native? So you said punk rock. Correct me if I'm wrong. So like, are you natively a punk rock? Like I picked you in a band. Are you just said you play bass. Are you the guy who like does it all and like sings, or like are you the lead dude? Like, rah, rah, you know, like what does that look like?
So the first band I was in, I played bass. So I learned bass by joining a band when I was in high school. One of my friends already played drums. One of my friends already played guitar. And then my friend who played guitar did vocals for the band. It was a punk band. It was called Extremist Whitey. And it was, you know, what's funny about being in a band when you're in high school is like you write like these really political songs, but can't fucking vote, right? Like it's like, oh, you can't even like what? Why are you doing this? Like, and so it's like we did that. We would like play at like the local bowling alley, and like one of my friends' parents owned like a tire shop, and they would like clear out the whole like bay where the cars were parked, and we would play shows there. And then I started a band that I did vocals in, but it was an electronic band, and that's how I got into production. So it's like me and my friend who played guitar, and I would produce everything else on FL Studio, which was Fruity Loops at the time. And so I would produce all this, like the drums, I'd do like these synthesizers, like I would do like the bass guitar, like sound effects, blah, blah, blah. And then I would do vocals. And then he would play guitar, and the band was just me and him. And I would bring my desktop computer with me, and I would like sit it down. I didn't have a laptop. I'd bring my desktop, I'd set it up, and I'd have the monitor. And then for a while, I would play a couple of songs with a Guitar Hero controller that I had set up through MIDI, and it would run through MIDI. I would play this one song. It was called Song Alpha. It was about a Pokemon battle. So like I was writing about anime like in 2006, and you could play it on Guitar Hero because like the beat was like 3 notes, and then he would play guitar and I would do the vocals. And yeah, like it was just like that's so yeah. I initially started in punk and hardcore way before I got into rap, like before I even knew how to make a beat.
And so when do you get into rap and it starts? Because that triple beam shit and like the way you go back and forth between it in the same song is definitely not traditional, but it works, man. It's you have a sound. So when does the rap shit like? Because bro, when you had that in shit and I was bobbing my head even in the beginning, like motherfuckers boring. Like you had that was a very chill kind of fucking trappy kind of vibe. So when does that come into play and get meshed?
So I started rapping maybe like 2014-ish. I think I put on my first tape. It was called Owl Eyes Part 2. And it was my first tape. And I always talk about like making part 1 like in the super, super future and then pretending that it existed beforehand. Who knows? Maybe I'll still do it. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, Owl Eyes Part 1 is finally coming out. Like I can't believe it. Like in like 20 years after the original.
Bro, you could do it on Web3. That'd be sick.
But like there's no part 1. Like I would have to write it all. Like I would, you know, like, and so it would be like funny because it's like a past reference but a future like creation. But I started that. I did that tape. Every song I took beats from people on SoundCloud. So I'd been making beats, but I didn't think my beats were good. I didn't think my beats were good until like 2018, 2019. And I got all these beats off SoundCloud. And what's funny is like some of those producers are in Web3 now, and like I talked to them. And I remember like some of them being super mad at me at the time, like because I just took their beats. But like, you know, but I had a friend on every song. And most of those people are still my friends. I think all of them are still my friends. Yeah, all of them are still my friends. I don't know why I said that. All of them are still my friends. And I made a mixtape, and like it was at that time even super heavily anime influenced. There's one song, I had two songs that were like untitled songs that were like skits. One was like in Dragon Ball Z, Majin Buu kills a couple people, right? And so what happens is Goku and Krillin pretty much have to go and be like, look, Gohan's dead, and he's not coming back. Vegeta's dead, he's not coming back. Goten, he's dead, but he's coming back, right? And it's like that was like the thing. And I like that's the whole clip is like this Dragon Ball Z scenario where Goku and Krillin are having to explain that their kids and husbands are dead to the wives, and they're like crying and have autotune on the vocals, and like Bulma's crying, and it like has this like autotune. It's super funny to me. And then the other song was like from a kung fu movie, and I just put like a bunch of reverb because like old Chinese kung fu movies had like the footsteps had sound effects, right? And so like you could hear those really loud, like, and then they were like fighting, and like, you know, everything had a sound effect in old Chinese martial arts movies. So, and then I made songs too. Yeah, I also made songs.
Bro, there was definitely some songs that you had in there where it was, I think it was like Appreciate It, and there were some other ones where it had kind of some, it was like some old Wu-Tang vibes, really. Like,
yes,
yeah, I mean, it definitely felt like that a little bit to me.
Dave,
I love kung fu movies.
Dave, Coca in the chat, Coca Jenkins, shout out to Jenkins for being here, has a question. What's your favorite or top anime? So you're talking about Goku. So is it Dragon Ball Z or?
It is not Dragon Ball Z at all. No.
What is it? I don't know. I don't know much about anime. I know what it is, but I don't know much more really than that.
That's enough. So I'm a big Gundam nerd, but Gundam is like the whole thing. So I'll say Akira. It's a movie. It's actually one of Kanye's favorite movies too. That's probably my most broad favorite is that. My favorites change over time a lot. So today, like if someone asked me today and I was feeling like sassy, I would say like, oh, like Showa Genroku Rakugo, you know, or Erased is always an easy one as well. It's like a short story. But there's like a lot of stuff that I love. Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, lots of Cowboy Bebop raps in my music. Yeah, just I would say Akira, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo.
When you say Gundam, though, is a whole thing, because I heard you say Gundam in the track. I didn't know what it meant, but I knew it was something about anime. Mm-hmm. What do you mean by whole thing?
Yes.
The whole thing, like a collection of anime?
It's a whole storyline. So like if you think about like how like all the Star Wars movies are related, right? Like it's one timeline. Gundam's the same way, and it came out in 1988, I think, and that was the first one came out. And they just came out with the movie like last year, and it's like the story. So here's the thing, and I'll explain it just so you don't think anime is completely stupid and not all tentacle porn, right? Like,
tentacle porn.
The Gundam storyline, the way it's set up is the Earth becomes uninhabitable because we ruin it like we're doing now, right? We ruin the environment. The Earth goes into this like extreme state of global warming. So it's a tropical fucking, you can't live here, right? So everyone moves into space, which we're also trying to do, right? Everyone moves into space. They live in these space colonies. And then what happens is the governments of the world think that they should run the government of the people in space. The people in space think that the people who live in space should run the space government. They have a big war about it. But what happens is certain companies create these like hyper modified robots called Gundams. And that's pretty much the storyline, but it's really actually about politics and about war and about connections between people, because kids who are born in space end up going through like a pseudo evolution where they're able to communicate through strong emotions. So sometimes when they're feeling something really strongly, they connect with the person that they're fighting. And the people who are born in space are the only ones who can really fly Gundams because they're used to living in space. I call it a war opera, honestly.
Dude, that was a great explanation. So thank you for the explanation, because I don't know enough about anime, but you're educating me. So I want to talk NFT.
Not all tentacle porn. You heard it here. Yeah, let's get to NFTs.
So
real quick, Louis, let's play his first song. The first song that we got queued up. Let's play Sharp, because Dave's got some really cool things he's doing with this that you're gonna dig.
Bro, this fucking this fucking album,
Genius.
Dave, is absolute fucking
Sharp's fire.
baller, bro. I died
Thank you.
to find myself on a cover that looking like that one day. That shit is fucking badass.
Wait till you hear what he's got going with it, man.
No,
You'll
I
freak
heard
out.
it. I
My
heard
girlfriend
it,
took that pic, so yeah.
bro, it's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing. But yo, all right, so let me
Yeah,
screen share so we can hear it. I'm glad that you
I
caught
didn't cut her in, so don't.
It's all right. She gonna make you sign a prenup. Don't worry. Well, that's another conversation for another day, though. All right. So this is called "Sharp" by Black Dave. This was dropped on Catalog, I believe, right? Yes, on Catalog. And I'm gonna play. I'm gonna go for the first minute of it. We're gonna play.
Wait,
Oh, tell me. You hear me?
oh man, there's so many. This song is like 6 parts.
You
but
want me to
it's
play?
also
So
5
if
minutes
you
long.
want,
Yeah, let it play, Louis. Let it play.
you want to go the whole song? I'll go the whole song. I don't care.
Just play it.
All right. Okay.
Those who have laid eyes on a Gundam shall not live to tell about it.
All black, on a tap, Hit the beam saber, and I cut the button in half. Eat a devil fruit, and I'm diving on your ass. Kuroku Hanamichi, and I'm dunking off the path. Know the mind is ill, and I know you hear the blast. Some in red eyes, and I hit you with the trap. Yeah, so you think I need these maps? Black tape, I shoot like I'm lit with the strap. One stripe headband over my eye. Got the NFTs that these niggas wanna buy. It's your record 7 if these niggas wanna fly. Up in the A4, let's go for a ride. Drop the money in the ENS. Yes, fuck with me, you need a EMS. Yes, acting like a pussy PMS. Yes, the captain of my ship, you UPS. Yes, drop the money in the ENS. Yes, fuck with me, you need a EMS. Yes, acting like a pussy PMS. Yes, the captain in my ship, UPS. Yes. Oh.
Louis, fix your mute.
My fault. Was I supposed to stop it?
I mean, we can't now. What happens?
no.
You muted it, and then we
Wait.
couldn't hear it.
Oh, I muted it. I'm
Can you
sorry.
skip like
I
you
didn't know
muted
that
it?
happened. I'm sorry. Tell me what parts of
there's
the
a
song. I'll
part-
go to it.
After this part, I don't know how long. It might be like 2 minutes. There's a part. It's the part after this part, pretty much. Yes, perfect.
Ate a devil fruit, you can't go in the open sea. Kicking off the auction and I'm on the F&D. If I'm making super rare, then I'm going with the Z. So trying to cop my Oni, then I'm taking 20 E's. 20. If you pull up on the dab, you can mint the PSP. Pharaohs. Turn it up the gas, then you turn it up the speed. Yeah. Paying all the fees. Yeah. Spin it all the E. Yeah. Beat. Yeah. Guess you buying on the open sea. Yeah. Black things straight up out the mouth. See you fly fox, but I'm riding.
Okay, I'm done.
Get back 'cause it's slime.
I feel like not enough people realize that I called out, like I named like 5 marketplaces.
Yeah, you did.
And then I went through like the whole process of like, and the open sea line is an anime reference. And so you don't know this, but there's an anime called One Piece. And am I allowed to keep giving you guys all of like the references? I don't know how much time I have. So there's an anime called One Piece. In it, there are people with powers, but they eat what's called a devil fruit. It's all about pirates. It's about pirates. And some of them have powers and they eat what's called a devil fruit. If they eat the devil fruit, they can't swim. And so that's why I said eat a devil fruit. You can't go in the open sea.
I didn't understand that, but I heard it, but I understand it now.
Yes. And then I go into like pull up on the DAP, you can mint the PFP. If you're turning up the gas, you turn up the speed.
Yes.
Yeah, So like I wanted to like write like relevant
what you were living in Web3. Yeah, you were living that.
Because there's so little Web3 rap that exists because so many people are bringing in old rap. And so like, that's why it's important for me and like Black Dave in Web3 to like reference Bored Apes, like the end of that song, like I rap about like CryptoPunks, and it's like I'm rapping, but it's just like, it's kind of like a I have like a long-standing but not long-standing feud with Spotty Wi-Fi, and it's like a like I don't like CryptoPunks kind of thing, right? I don't mind CryptoPunks, by the way. I'm gonna buy a CryptoPunk in my future, but like it's like that. So like I want to keep doing, like in the first song we played, I had the Bored Apes line, and like, you know, other songs, like every song has something Web3 in it, and I think that's so important. And I hope that more artists, because like when we write music, right, like we should be writing about our experiences. And my experience is like, if you're trying to cop my Oni, then I'm taking 20 ETH. I tweeted about that today. I said I rapped about saying that I'm going to sell my Oni for 20 ETH, but I literally only get bids for like 0.5. So I don't know when that's going to happen.
But I do want to say though, Louis and I, we talk a lot, and Louis and I, you know, I helped with the launch of his entire debut album, but we talk a lot. And I know this kind of it's turning into a bad word in the NFT space, is utility. We talk a lot about utility and what it is and all that. I want you to hit Louis with everything that you're doing with this, and then let's take the conversation from there.
Okay, so Sharp, as you saw, it's a 3 Ethereum sale, right? So when I sold it for 3 Ethereum, I sold it as a party bid. For anyone who doesn't know what party bid is, party bid's a platform that allows you to break an NFT up into pieces. People can put in as much Ethereum as they want towards the final goal, and they receive an amount of tokens based on the percentage they put in. So with that, I started doing governance around that song. So everyone who put in for the party bid and gets the token now votes on all these different things about the song. So I just put up my first governance yesterday, and the 2 questions are, 1, should I put the song on streaming? And I'm letting them decide. I own none of the tokens, so I'm not even a part of the decision-making process. I'm only the person who just follows whatever they say. And then the second question is, how much of that 3 Ethereum should I take for myself? Because the rest of the 3 Ethereum goes towards the promotion of the song. And so the options there are like, do I take 0.5 ETH or do I take 1 ETH? And then the options for streaming are yes or no. And what's funny is the first vote for streaming actually was a no. And I thought that was really interesting. Because when I wrote about it, so with each thing I write why or why not both, right? Like I'm like, okay, these are the pros and cons of this option and pros and cons of that option. And so I have really interesting people who are my collectors, right? Like I have people who manage big artists with 1 billion streams as my collectors of this NFT. I have people who work at record labels as my collectors of this NFT. I have like, you know, people who like write at blogs, people who do all these things, right? So they don't own any of the rights to the song or anything like that, right? But if the song blows up, then theoretically the NFT could be of more value. And so it's kind of in their best interest to help this song go as far as it can, so that when we sell it, they pretty much get their money back. I'm more popular than I was before, and we all can shake hands and move on. And so that's like that's pretty much what I'm doing with this one.
So
I have more stuff too. I have more stuff than that, but yeah.
So I could talk to you about utility for 5 hours. The tokens, right? The tokens.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? So you're saying I put in a party bid, which gives me tokens from the party bid platform, or
Fractional.
How does that work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's how it works. Okay, so we're
Yeah,
using talk to me, tell me, yeah.
So you when you put it on party bid, when you create a party bid, you can put in a token ID. So mine's SHRP, and for the amount that you put in of Sharp, I think it's like 3,170 something, right? Because it's like 3.1 blah 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 ETH after all the gas. And so if you put in 0.1, you got I think 10 or 100 tokens. If you put in 0.2, you got 20. I don't remember the numbers. I'm sorry, I'm bad at that. But like when you do that, you are rewarded a Sharp token. That's your representation. Then you go onto another platform called Fractional, and you can pretty much do all the things like set the price there, and like 50% of the people have to set a certain price in order for it to change, blah blah blah. And so So with that, you get the token, and then that token is going to be what gates you into the governance process that I set up on Snapshot. And then on continued utility, this is something I haven't even announced yet. The Sharp token is going to be used to buy other NFTs of mine. So I have an NFT coming out. Jared's actually getting the gold edition of it, because he has my golden egg on sound. I'm doing these 3D VMUs. So I don't know if you ever played Dreamcast, but their memory card was a handheld game, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm making 3D versions of the VMUs for everyone to have, and it's in the Black Dave world, the VMU is actually the key to my Gundam. So everyone's going to have like a key to my Gundam theoretically. And I'm going to do 3 different colors, well, 4 different colors. The 4th color is gold. But I'm doing 3 different colors, and then the gold one, I'm only going to have like 5 or 10 of them exist ever. And the people who have the gold ones, my plan is to eventually, so there's no timetable on this, Jared. Like, you can hack a VMU, put Raspberry Pi inside of it. And so I'm going to use Raspberry Pi, create a VMU game that also has a seed phrase in it that I pretty much drop NFTs in. So like, I have other projects coming. So I'm going to mint NFTs to the VMU. I'm going to drop NFTs into the VMU. I'm going to, collaborate with people, and the VMU owners are the only ones who get it, kind of things. Just because like I am confident that I'm going to be like one of the biggest artists in the space. I'm just going to say it, right? And so like when you get these things from me, it's like only 5 of these exist, only 1 of these exist, only like whatever exists, but the seed phrase is in the VMU. So it's like it's not quite a ledger, right? But the only person who actually ever had access to that seed phrase was me and the person who has the VMU. And so I'm just using it as an airdrop tool. But it's going to match the gold VMU. So I'm going to make a gold VMU. All the VMUs have stickers on them. I'm going to like print out the stickers in real life and put the stickers on the VMU in the same way that it's on the 3D version. And like, yeah, so like it's like, for me, utility is like, I try to replace it with what experience does the person who collects your NFT get? If I say experience, then people don't say, utility, You could just say, yeah, what experience do your collectors get? And they say, they get the experience of the song. And I'm like, oh, cool. So, well, yeah, that's it.
No. Dude, that's exactly what I was told by Vandal from Dow Records when I first joined the space. And I asked him, why do people buy these fucking things? Like, what is special about it? And he said, they buy them because of the experience that they get to go through by owning the NFT. And that was why my NFT, like to first claim it was a gated link where it took you in-world to the metaverse. Then you had to like claim the files and the special content from that gated link in the metaverse. But I love the idea of the governance to the party bid. You're teaching me as I'm listening to you. I want to talk a little bit like in extension to this. So smart contracts, custom contracts, and platforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could either, for example, do what you did, which I believe you did with Triple Beam, right? You had your own custom contract, right? Same thing that I have for hip hop heads, right? Or you could drop on whatever, OpenSea, Rarible, Sound, Catalog, wherever.
Sound gives you your own smart contract, just as a heads up.
And when you say that,
Triple Beam is minted on Sound, but when I go through the minting process, they give me my own smart contract that I'm the owner of.
Wow. And you know what? It's very funny because I'm a geek like that, and I thoroughly scoped your smart contract for Triple Beam, and I thought that it was made by you. So that's a beautiful thing to hear.
Sound, when you get onboarded into Sound, so when I got onboarded onto Sound, Iman sent me this file, and Iman is head of artist relations. She's an amazing artist herself. Yes. And so she sent me this file, and it was like, I need to have like 0.4 Ethereum to mint. And I was like, ain't no fucking way. It's 0.4 Ethereum to mint a song. Like, and it's to deploy your contract, not to mint an NFT on their platform. But I didn't know that until then. And Sound doesn't talk about that. And I feel like it's huge.
Yeah.
Like That's why every artist has a page. So every artist has a page because every artist has their own smart contract. And that's why Sound doesn't have their own catalog. It's because every artist has their own smart contract. So they're trying to work with OpenSea to like create a Sound catalog that's comprised of all of their artists. But yeah, Sound provides you with that smart contract. However, I do have my own contract on Manifold, which the VMUs are going to be on. And I actually have an ER721 out there that's called One Black Pixel. It's one BLKPXL, and it's literally a 1x1 pixel, and it's black, and that's the whole NFT, and it's not for sale.
Dude, that is so dope that Sound does that. I mean,
dope.
Are they taking a percentage out of the smart contract with a splitter or anything like that?
No.
Like, that's amazing that they do that.
Yeah, I think, and I don't want to speak too much for Sound, but in this phase, they aren't taking a percent. Catalog doesn't take a percent either right now, and they just raised some money, right? So they got some space. They got some space to just let us do what we're gonna do, and I'm sure they're gonna figure out their monetization structure in the future. But as long as they don't run out of money from that investment that they got, and I'm sure they're going through another round soon, they're gonna try to make it as artist friendly and as artist forward as they can, for as long as they can. So we'll see how it goes.
If we can, let's play at least some of the next song too, so we can before we run out of time completely here.
Yeah, my fault. So this is.
I'm sorry. I know I'm.
Don't apologize.
No, it's perfect. I just want to make sure everybody hears the music too. That's the big thing. I want to make sure everyone hears what you're playing.
Yeah, Black Dave, don't apologize. I'm also kind of pushing you down that rabbit hole, so I take full responsibility as well. But I really share a lot of interest with you, and I'm learning a lot just from talking to you. I'm very big on utility myself, but check out Middlemen right now. We're going to play. Is there a particular time clip you want to go for this?
Beginning.
Well, can we do the first minute?
Is my verse. Yeah, that's my verse.
Okay, perfect. So this is Middlemen. This is also a drop on catalog. And here we go. Let me make sure I'm on. Good.
Black comment, word, vomit, no stylist, pay homage, woke up, chose violence, old Audi, low knowledge, turn me up, no silence, fast forward, no rewind, no rules, no guidance, Black Date is that guy, final flash, key blast, shoot like Vash, no mask, pocket monster, call me Ash, beat it down, hold, smash, sword, strike, sword, clash, high stakes, big bad, market crash, get that cash, in the bot, I'm too fast, outside and the gang too real, bounce back with a brand new feel, big body got hands on wheels, Lil Audi take off like skirt, huddle up for the bag.
Bring it in.
Yo, woke up, chose violence. Natalie, did you inspire that line?
She wrote that. She's a ghostwriter.
Yes. Yes.
Dude,
some days I choose it too.
I try not to, but hey, I will not lie. I have recently in this fucking space, yo, I have chosen violence. I can't lie sometimes.
By the way, Dave, your boy Monday on that, when his verse comes in too, he rips it too. So anybody else?
Super good.
Yeah, anyone that hasn't heard the track, and I would encourage you to go hear it. The whole thing just rides, and yeah, go ahead.
So we're not going to have enough time for me to keep drilling the hole down into the utility world that I want to, but I do have another question for you that I just think is a little different, and want your take on it, because all these questions I don't have the answers to. I feel like I'm asking another pioneer. I consider myself a pioneer as I do things, and I learn from pioneers like yourself. So should there be a different standard or a separate standard for music NFTs in terms of the visual than there are for the classic traditional still artwork, right? So I guess I'm saying, should the same standard exist for music NFTs in delivering a visual the way that they exist for delivering a visual now? And, if you're not a music NFT, and as you've seen, some of these 3D models and images that are coming out as NFTs are really advanced and crazy Unreal Engine, Xbox looking type things. What do you feel is the responsibility of the music artist to pair that in, and how do you think about that?
Monday, who's on the song, he and I talk a lot about this idea of like quality and like what we should be charging for that, right? Like I think a lot of people who are making music and a lot of people making videos are just charging what the people next to them are charging, when either their video is way better or the video is not as good. And same thing with music, right? And so for me, I think I'm married to the idea of quality way more than I am married to the idea of like a peer group, right? Like if you look at like the people that I consider my peers, right? They're all like starting their songs off at like 1 Ethereum on Catalog, but I think that song is one of the best rap songs on Catalog, period. And like whenever I drop a music video, I hope that music video is one of the best music videos on wherever I'm into it. I hope that everything that I do is one of the best whatever's on wherever, right? And so I think a lot of people are like releasing too quickly, are of course releasing old music, so it makes it easy for them to release quickly. But I think people are releasing too quickly. It starts to feel like, oh, if you just wanted the money, just say you wanted the money, right? Like that's probably a better phrase than cash grab, right? Like I'm not saying that it's a cash grab. You know, they are giving you art, they are giving you something that they created, but it's like it's happening so fast that it's like, look, if you just need money, like say that, you know. and so what I want to do is I want to give good music, good art, and then I want to back that up with a good experience. And so like from my first music NFT to my second music NFT, my first song was called Black Dave Black Comet. If you look for it on streaming, DistroKid wouldn't let me put Black Dave in the title. They're like, you can't use your name in the title. I hate that DistroKid puts rules on like all the shit you can do. Yeah, it's annoying. So the song's called Black Comet on streaming, but it's called Black Dave Black Comet in real life. And when I put out my second two songs, which I think you guys are going to play last, Appreciate It is one of them, and KO Contends the other one. I have special edition covers of that song that I airdropped to everyone who collected the first song. So everyone who collected the new versions of KO, like everyone who purchased the versions of KO Contend and Appreciate It, have the regular cover. And then everyone who had my first NFT has the limited edition cover. And in theory, the limited edition cover is the one that's more valuable. And it's just different cover art. You know, it's kind of like the golden egg on Sound, actually, but just a year earlier. And so like experience is king to me. If I can provide good experiences and I can provide experiences that use the tech, then to me that's way more important than like trying to compete with someone next to me, because my competition, my peer group in Web3 is all artists with a 10-year career. You know, it's fucking Latasha, who's amazing, but you know, this is really her first offering. That her song that she put out recently in her music video, that's her first offering of music she like did while being in Web3. You know, like she's been going at it for a year off of music that existed before her time here. Iman's had a 10-year career. She's toured in Japan. Are you fucking serious? Like, you know, like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? So like people that I consider my peers, Ibn was like written in Complex as like a Chicago artist to look out for in like 2013. You know, like I'm like just some random dude from South Carolina who likes anime, you know, like, and started making rap music. And so like understanding that that's what I'm up against, I'm trying to make sure that I over index in the other categories. That's it.
What a fucking gem of an answer, man. For real. What a gem of an answer. You're bringing me back to center a little bit and making me remember why I do what I do, and recalling on what I've done in the past and how I can make that in the future more oriented around the experience. Because I do agree that is the fucking soul thing. And people don't often understand that that's what they're excited about and why they like an artist or why they buy a drop or something like that. But I do think it is because of the experience that they'll get. We are running out of time. Give me you talk about formal and informal communities, right? And I'm going to basically lay out what I've seen you say about formal and informal communities, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they're like, a formal community I think is like the PFP style drop, or a drop around a formal, I guess, piece of content, where your informal is like kind of just like the people you hang out with on Spaces and Clubhouse, like the people that you just like stroll around
Yes.
with and see on a day-to-day basis. What do you say to an artist who has neither, who's coming into the space and who wants to, try to, make something happen? How do they build those formal and informal communities?
I think you should be focused on informal community. Honestly, like there are a lot of people who are really into this, like join a PFP community and write the theme song, or whatever. And I don't want to be a theme song guy. I don't want to be a jingle writer. Like I want to be a rapper who produces his own music that isn't gimmicky or isn't based around any concept that I don't want it to be around. And so, and people have asked me like, oh, do you want to do a song for our project? And I'm like, yeah, I would love to. Like, I'll mention your project, but I can't write a whole song about it. Like, and I think people should focus on building informal communities, because your informal community members are going to be, I think, the people who put on for you the most at the beginning. My first few NFTs that I sold were from people that I built informal community with. My hopeful future, I have a crew with my friends in Charleston called The Worst Generation. And I want to make that, like, that's a formal community, right? Because we are a group of people who identify under one flag. And that's what I mean by formal community. And so I want to bring us to Web3. I want to bring us to the blockchain and put out music as The Worst Generation. And, with OX splits, I can do that, and everyone can just get paid without having to fucking deal with that, which is amazing. And, but I want to do that. And I want all of our energy to be in that one space. I talk about like Wu-Tang or like ASAP Mob or Odd Future. And I use those three because they have similar record deals in the sense that all of them as a group, the group has one record deal, but then as individuals, they can all sign their own deal. So they can all move around individually, but they can also all, they also have this group thing that they do. And so, I can build informal communities as Black Dave, but then have the formal community of The Worst Generation. And like, I think a couple of them might be listening in today. So like, we're working on like a project, at least of a handful of songs. And we want to like put some stuff out. None of them are in Web3. So, one of the guys who was my old roommate, he like produces as well. He like is talking about getting into NFTs because we're both friends with the guy who got me into NFTs. And the other guys, we just do what we do. So I want to try to bring a formal community into the space. I think that I'm not saying I want to be the first Web3 rap group. I'm sure there are already some, but I definitely want to be like a really influential and important part of that movement. Because I think when people realize that they can make a group and be individuals, we'll see a lot of people with like minds like communing together and saying, oh wow, like this person's been my homie anyway, why don't we just make a Web3 rap group and we'll get this person and like if you think about like Brockhampton, I don't know how familiar you guys are with Brockhampton, but Brockhampton is like a group of like 12 or 16 kids. They all met on Kanye Tilla, and they're not all artists. Some of them do videos, some of them do graphic design, some of them do the website, some of them do like music, some of them are engineers, like all kinds of people. They're collective. And in Web3 you can pay everybody, and I think that's really cool, because I wasn't going to talk about Selection Drop, but I'm gonna talk about Selection Drop. Selection got 20%, Joe K got 5%, just as the curator and as the DJ, right? And then the person who did the art got 1%, and then the 18 people or 16 people got 1%. And so like I think that it's really cool that you can now like get everybody in on it and transparently, and then I don't know, I'm super pumped about like making music in Web3, and maybe because it's going well for me, I'm pumped about it. But like I wanna try to bring some of the homies on, but in a way that's authentic. I think Natalie hits on this all the time. Like a lot of folks are bringing their homies in, getting them a bag, and then like getting out. And I want to make sure that like if I bring my friends in, then like they kind of understand like, look, like this can be something, and and it doesn't have to just be us getting money and getting out. We can like really like go on tour from making Web3 sales. We can really like, if a record deal's in our future, get a deal off of like Web3 sales by, you know, funneling that into marketing, funneling that into, you know, Spotify playlists or whatever it is. Like, and so, yeah, like that's formal community versus informal. I think of informal communities as group chats. That's what I normally say. Group chats, Discord servers. And then formal communities being like under a PF, like under a flag. So like the PFP or the Worst Generation or Odd Future or ASAP Mob or Wu-Tang or whatever. Yeah.
Dude, so we are definitely going to chop it up more, and I'm going to follow you around in spaces as I've done in the past. And I want to play out your last song, but we're going to actually play it out, so we're not going to be able to talk after that. So I want you to just kind of talk a little bit about the song, appreciate it, before we go, and also let everybody know real quick, just like where to find you. Obviously, Black Dave on Twitter, but tell them where to go if they need a different place.
And Census.
Yeah. So yeah, Census, kudos. I have a lot of projects happening right now. I'm like, I'm super tired because I'm working on so many projects. So the project that's most ready to be presented to everyone is a project called Kindred Hearts, which is like an art collectible project that's focused on like giving, where like I'm the social media lead on it, but I pretty much only run the Discord. So there's actually a meeting that they're having now that I missed to come to this, and that I didn't tell them, so they know now. And like so that's focused on giving. We're giving 20% of our money to different organizations, and it's eventually going to be built into a whole platform under the banner Favorite, and so this is the beginning of that. And then I'm working on a project called Kudos with Monday, who's on that song with me. And it's his music release where we're releasing it through a NFT/AR experience, and we're making physical popcorn boxes for everyone to collect, and the popcorn boxes will have AR that we update regularly, and it all tells a story and is part of this world that we're building together, that's under an umbrella called Pharos. Umbrella companies are the move. I'm gonna tell you that, like, you can build a million little projects under a big project. And then the last thing is Senses, which we just had our first space for earlier tonight. It's a sneaker focused project, but also like a fashion focused project, based around the 5 senses. So we'll be like, it's an NFT, but then you'll get artwork, you'll hear music, you'll get incense, you'll get food, you'll get all these things that come with it. So it's a physical digital experience as well. I think like the physical digital is definitely the next frontier. But I'm Black Dave on Twitter, Black Dave on Instagram, blackdave.com. If you just want to find all of my links to everything, the .com is probably the best way to go. So Appreciate It is a song that I released as part of the second music NFT drop I did. This song was me wanting to prove that I could rap like a regular person. So
Well, Dave, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming through. And we could honestly, like, we could probably talk about this like forever.
Oh yeah.
And dude, I just want to say, fuck that. You don't rap like a regular person. You rap like Black Dave, and I fucking love that. Shout out Natalie Cruz. Shout out Jared T. Thank you, Black Dave, for coming on. My name is Louis C. Rhymes, the NFT rapper, a.k.a. NF Trapper. It's Louis, baby. And I got news for you. If you think I knew about utility before, after I just talked to this man, you better be fucking ready, because we coming with some new angles on these Louis drops. Yo, check out this song. Appreciate It. It's on OpenSea, 0.05 ETH. Go get yourself one. Have a good night, LADZ City. We love you. Peace out. We're playing out with this one.
OVOT.
OVOT, baby. Much love.
Those who have laid eyes on a Gundam shall not live to tell about
Got
it.
a big blade and I'm looking like Ichigo. Got a bad thing and she looking like Fujiko. Looking like Michiko, running streets with Hachi. See him try to bite the black comment like some hockey. Niggas gotta keep a stick on them like some hockey. This a lifestyle, motherfucker, not a hobby. Black Dave steady spitting facts, but never copy. Hopping in the Gundam on attack, it's never sloppy. King of the hill, but it's never, damn it, Bobby. king of the hill, and I run the house like Pecky. Looking like I'm Troy Barton, arms never heavy. Endless in this waltz, and I'm fighting for the earth. Young Black Dave, real nigga since birth. And I don't need a MetaMask to show him what I'm worth. Ha! Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ah! Hoes on my dick like I work at a host club. Black Beetlejuice, I'm the ghost with the most up. Black comet coming around the corner like a poster. Lay up on your bitch, coming straight off the poster. Turn off the anime, you scaring all the hoes, bruh. They bout to go ghost, looking like Hanako. Young Black King, looking like Yu-Gi-Moto. Flames like Natsu, not you. Black Comet Beam Saber, that's how I got through. Cutting through these bots like Ikaku. And if you heard about me, I can guarantee it's not true. About time I stop you, stop sign, I got time. Niggas try to take what I got like it's not mine. Better get offline, better be on time. Not talking CP, heard your little CD. You can't see me, believe me. Call me Black Dave, I'm not your BD. Said fuck 12, but in trouble, called the PD. Keep it dragging with you.
It's Louis, baby. It's Louis, baby. It's Louis, baby. And you are now rocking with them hip hop. It's heads. That eat the poet, this blockchain's key component. That art chick be in my DM like I need a moment. I feel heroic, I'm goated, like should I show it? From all of this doubt came all of this clout when you keep moving forward. I street hop like that New York City beatbox. Flow come with options like clicking on them 3 dots. Cash rules everything around, never that. I'm moving hella stacks in and out my MetaMask. Like, oh, let me tell you what's true. Too many people